On Monday morning, March 14, 2016, an ordinary workday begins at Hotel Vale in Lyon, France. The hotel is not in the old city center, but in a business district with office buildings, parking garages, and wide roads leading toward the Rhone. It is a hotel for people in transit, consultants, interpreters, sales representatives, conference guests, people who stay one night and then disappear from view. Just after 9 o'clock, a housekeeper goes to room 409. According to the system, the guest has already checked out. The room needs to be prepared for a new reservation later that day. At first, nothing seems unusual. The bed has been used. The bathroom is dry. There are no clothes, no charger, no toiletry bag. But under the bed, she sees a black hardshell suitcase. When she tries to pull the suitcase forward, she notices that it is unusually heavy. As she moves it, she sees that it is not the only one. Behind it, pushed deeper under the bed and partly hidden by the bed frame, are two more black hardshell suitcases. All three are large. None of them has a luggage tag. None appears to belong to the guest who has checked out. There is also a faint smell in the room, not strong enough for her to immediately understand what it is, but strange enough for her to call the supervisor. The hotel manager contacts the police. Part of the fourth floor is closed off. The suitcases are not opened by hotel staff. They are secured by forensic investigators and removed from room 409. Inside, police find human remains, carefully wrapped in plastic sheeting, towels, and hotel linen. But one detail stands out immediately. The linen does not come from one hotel. Some towels carry laundry tags from an apart-hotel in Villeurbanne. Other pieces appear to come from a laundry service used by several hotels in Lyon. It looks as if the body has moved through different locations, or as if someone has deliberately tried to create confusion. There is no passport, no phone, no wallet, no recognizable clothing. What they do have is a room, 3 suitcases, and a name in the reservation system. Marc Delcourt, Belgian business traveler, checked in on Friday evening, checked out on Saturday morning. From the first hour, room 409 appears to point directly to him. The name in the reservation system does not lead to a fake identity. Marc Delcourt is a Belgian business traveler based in Geneva. His stay at Hotel Vale is fully documented. His identity card was scanned at reception, his payment is traceable, and his work often takes him between Belgium, Switzerland, and France. His identity card was scanned at reception. His payment is traceable. When the police contact him, he does not deny staying at the hotel. He says he slept in room 409 on Friday night and left for Geneva at around 9:30 on Saturday morning. His story is checked. Toll cameras record his car heading towards Switzerland. His phone follows the same pattern. On Saturday evening, he uses his bank card in Geneva. On Sunday, several people see him at a business lunch. Still, Delcourt remains important. In his statement, he says that on Friday evening he spoke to a woman in the lobby bar. He vaguely knows her from the world of medical conferences and translation assignments. According to him, her name is Sophie, but he is not sure whether that is her real name. The lobby camera confirms the conversation. At around 9:40 p.m., Delcourt is seen at the bar with a woman in her early 40s, dark hair, beige coat, small red handbag. They speak briefly, not intimately, not aggressively. Then she walks toward the elevators, but there is no guest registered under her name. Within days, the woman is identified as Elena Varga, a freelance translator born in Romania and living in Brussels. She works in France, Belgium, and Switzerland, often under slightly different professional names, not because she is a criminal, but because she takes assignments through agencies, intermediaries, and international clients. Delcourt now seems less likely as the killer, but the connection remains uncomfortable. He knows Elena. He stayed in room 409, and later, the suitcase is found in that room, until a new piece of footage changes everything. On Saturday afternoon, more than 24 hours after Delcourt left, Elena enters Hotel Vale again. If Elena is still alive on Saturday, the case changes. Delcourt remains a name in the file, but the timeline no longer fits cleanly. Investigators now look at Elena's professional circle. One man quickly stands out, Nicolas Armand, a conference interpreter from Lyon. He and Elena previously worked together at a closed medical conference in Geneva. After that, things went wrong. According to colleagues, Armand accused her of taking assignments away from him, not openly, but through networks, recommendations, and quiet damage to his reputation. In that field, trust is everything. One rumor can be enough to lose months of work. Armand denies seeing Elena that weekend, but his statement is messy. His phone is switched off for almost 4 hours on Saturday evening. He says he was at home, but a neighbor remembers that his car was not in its usual place late that night. There is something else. Shortly before her death, Elena received several messages from an unknown prepaid number. The content has been deleted, but the timing is striking. The last messages come on Saturday afternoon, shortly before she returns to Hotel Vale. For the police, Armand becomes a serious lead. He has a conflict with Elena. He knows her schedule. He understands the international conference circuit. He has reason to fear what Elena might say about him. Then a strange piece of surveillance footage appears. On Saturday evening, a man in a dark jacket and cap walks through the 4th floor of Hotel Vale. He is not a registered guest. He is pushing a housekeeping cart loaded with several large items under a gray cover. At normal speed, it looks like folded linen or hotel equipment. But when investigators slow the footage down, they see the hard black edges of more than one suitcase beneath the cover. It is not clear from the footage whether all 3 suitcases are on the cart, but it is enough to show that luggage was moved through the 4th floor by someone who was not registered as a guest. From that moment, the case is no longer only about who knew Elena. The question becomes who could move through Hotel Vale as if he belonged there. The breakthrough is not a name. It is a realization. Room 409 is probably not the crime scene. Forensic examination finds no traces consistent with a killing in that room. No blood in the carpet, no clear cleaning residue in the bathroom, no damage to the furniture. The room was used by Delcourt, but not as the murder location. That means the 3 suitcases were brought into room 409 later, and that changes the entire case. Room 409 is not a random discovery site. It is a signpost. Someone left the suitcase in a place that would almost automatically lead the investigation toward Delcourt. Elena had been seen with him. His name was in the system. His room was known. Investigators now create a new list. Not only of suspects who knew Elena, but of people who had access to elevators, staff corridors, housekeeping carts, and rooms that had already been checked out. Hotel staff, temporary cleaners, external suppliers, technicians. At the same time, a city worker reports a discovery near a waste point by the Rhone: burned plastic sheeting, pieces of towel, and strips of industrial tape. At first, the waste seems worthless, but fibers from the burned material match the inner lining of the suitcase. The tape is a type used in the transport of technical conference equipment. On surveillance footage from the area, a gray delivery van is captured early on Sunday morning. The number plate is only partly visible. Not enough for an arrest, enough to understand that the killer did not only have a personal connection to Elena, he knew the back end of hotels, loading areas, service elevators, the places where nobody questions a person carrying equipment. The partial number plate and the tape lead police toward a wider group of external service workers. Not the visible guests, not the people in the lobby, but the people who set up conference rooms and take them apart again. One name appears more than once: Lucien Morel. Morel is 51 years old and works as a technical assistant for conferences. He installs interpretation booths, headsets, microphones, and projection screens. He was at Hotel Vale on Saturday for a small medical meeting on the 1st floor. He did not have a room. He did not need to pass through reception. At first, he is only one name on a list, but he owns a gray delivery van similar to the one captured near the Rhone. He has also worked at least 6 conferences where Elena was present. Police search his vehicle. Under the rubber mat in the cargo area, investigators find tiny blood traces. The area has been cleaned, but not well enough. DNA links the traces to Elena. Then comes the trail of the towels. Part of the linen from the suitcase comes from an apart-hotel in Villeurbanne. Morel had rented a studio there for one night under a false name, paid with a prepaid card. The room has already been rented again and cleaned superficially. Only after targeted luminol testing do traces appear in the bathroom, around the shower drain, and under the base of a cabinet. This is the real crime scene. Elena was killed there. The cause of death is suffocation by compressive force to the neck. She has defensive injuries on her hands and forearms. There is no evidence of sexual assault, but there is evidence of a short, violent physical confrontation. In Morel's storage unit, police find empty packaging from the same tape found near the Rhone. They also find old badges, delegate lists, and conference programs from events where Elena had worked. Among those papers, there is something else: printed conference programs on which Elena's name has been highlighted, not once, over a period of almost 9 months. Police recover Elena's phone from a drain near the Rhone. The device is damaged, but part of the deleted message history can still be restored. The messages show that Morel had been contacting her for months. He began with practical details about conference rooms, headsets, and interpretation booths. Later, he moved closer. He warned her that Nicolas Armand was damaging her reputation and claimed he had information that could protect her. That made the approach believable. Armand and Elena really did have a conflict. Morel did not invent that tension. He used it. The printed conference programs in Morel's storage unit confirm the pattern. Elena's name is marked again and again over a period of months. Morel knew where she worked, when she would be present, and who she was working with. On Saturday, he lures her to the studio in Villeurbanne by claiming he has evidence about Armand. Elena goes because the details sound specific enough to matter. In the studio, there is no evidence, only Morel. Elena tries to defend herself. The injuries to her hands and forearms are consistent with defensive wounds. She dies from compressive force to the neck. After her death, Morel moves the body instead of making it disappear. He uses 3 black hardshell suitcases, linen from different sources, and burned material near the Rhone to make the route harder to read. Then he brings the suitcases to Hotel Vale. Room 409 is chosen because it already points to Marc Delcourt. Delcourt is registered there. He was seen with Elena in the lobby. His name gives the investigation an obvious first direction. Armand remains useful as a second direction. The messages, the real professional conflict, and his incomplete statement make him suspicious enough to delay the investigation. Morel's mistake is that his plan reveals the world he knows: hotels, conference equipment, technical tape, staff corridors, loading areas. The investigation eventually follows those practical movements, not just the people around Elena. That is where his role becomes clear. Lucien Morel is convicted in 2018 of murder, moving and dismembering a body, and deliberately misleading the investigation. The court sentences him to life imprisonment with a minimum term of 28 years. At trial, the motive is described less as romance than control. Morel had spent months trying to make himself necessary to Elena. He warned her about professional enemies, fed her suspicion of Nicolas Armand, and used real tensions in her work to present himself as the one person who understood the danger around her. When Elena realized she was being manipulated and threatened to report him, that control collapsed. Prosecutors argue that the violence began there, but that the planning after her death was deliberate. The rented studio, the false name, the 3 suitcases, the burned material near the Rhone, and the stage placement in room 409. Marc Delcourt returns to Geneva and avoids public attention after the trial. His name is cleared, but for several days it had been attached to one of the most disturbing hotel discoveries in recent French police history. Nicolas Armand is also cleared. His conflict with Elena was real, and his incomplete statements damaged his reputation, but investigators find no evidence that he was involved in her death. For Elena's family, the case answers who killed her, but not why the pattern was missed for so long. She worked across borders, under different professional names, with temporary clients and changing teams. No single agency, hotel, or conference organizer had the full picture of Morel's contact with her. After the case, several conference venues in Lyon and Geneva tightened their procedures for external technical staff. Contractor access is checked more closely. Service corridors are logged. Movement between conference areas and guest floors is restricted. The 3 suitcases in room 409 were not only used to hide Elena's body, they were used to create the first version of the investigation. Morel used a real room, a real name, and a real conversation in the lobby to make another suspect look obvious. For a few days, it worked.